Okay, we are now live.
How exciting.
Live on YouTube. Let's hope it's working this time. So, for all my lovely YouTube people, let me just say hello. And I hope that you can see me and you can see the lovely Leigh Shenton, who has joined me here to talk about all things love on this beautiful Valentine's Day.
Hello, Nikki. I'm so excited to be here. Third time lucky.
Third time.
Yes. Just a quick heads up. I think for anybody who has called you on the live previously and has gone through all the motions with us, kudos to you guys for sticking around. And, when you're dealing with new technology, it's not easy. So thank you for hanging around. But Nikki is so resilient and incredibly persistent. I know that it's going to be an amazing call.
Let's hope so. But I have the YouTube app open on my phone next to me. So if I look down, that's what I'm looking at, in case anyone wants to join in the live chat and ask us any questions. Oh, bless you. We do have Malin back. Hello. It's nice to have you back. And I apologize profusely for the kerfuffle before. But technology is not my forte, shall we say. But with the help and the guidance of my beautiful friend here, I've managed to get this working. So.
It's all good. It's all good.
Reverb going on. But anyway, so Leigh, what sort of live is it today? Well, today I am talking with Leigh. I have done a tarot. Well, I've done several tarot readings for Leigh in the past, and she is going to tell us all about how one of my tarot readings in particular helped her to not find the love of her life, because she'd already found him, but through the tarot reading with me, she stuck with it to make sure that she actually did recognize the potential of that relationship. So that was part of the reading that she had with me. And those of you that join me live, I may well do a little section of pulling a couple of cards for you as well, just to see, if you have any questions about love that you'd like the tarot to answer. I can certainly do a couple of quick readings. I won't be able to get to everyone if I get a lot of people joining, because there's only one of me. so just to warn you in advance. But hello, and we have JP joining us. Hello, JP. So yeah, that's basically it. We're going to chat with Leigh. She is known as the Queen of Joy, so she'll tell us all about that in a moment as well. And just going through what tarot has done for Leigh, how it has helped her, and also, this year is the year of the lovers in the tarot. So it is very much a love-infused reading and interview that we're doing today. So, Leigh, Queen of Joy, explain this. Why Queen of Joy, Leigh?
I'm actually just feeling this huge expansion from my solar plexus at the moment. I'm feeling so much love, so much joy, and it's really, really such an honor to be here with you on this very, very special day. For everybody who is catching us on live, hello, everybody. I have done hundreds and hundreds, maybe even thousands of lives on Facebook, but this is also my very, very, very first one on YouTube. So thank you, Nikki, for inviting me to come and share with you and your audience today. Love for me is a very, very important thing. And, we've all got our own journey and our own stories to tell around love. But I think we could actually even have done that reading. It may even have been on Valentine's Day last year, or very, very close around that time. If we go to check, we'll know for sure. Mm-hmm. But as Nikki was saying, I had met somebody and it was very, very new. And I just felt this really wonderful connection. And I didn't want to screw it up. I didn't want to mess it up. I wanted to make sure that I was really honoring myself, honoring this person, and also being intuitively guided, because I was super, super, what's the right word? Impatient. I think I was very impatient. I felt so ready and so right. I just wanted to steamroller through this whole thing. But the cards were amazing. I mean, that love reading that you did for me, Nikki, I mean, it was just explosive. But it was also very clear that I needed to be patient and wait in the wings patiently, which was, I mean, I'm normally a very patient person, but it was really, really, really difficult in the beginning stages to do that. But I just want to thank you so much for that reading and for being so clear about how important it was for me. Because yes, everything was lined up beautifully, but in good timing, and to be really mindful of that. And I think during that time, I really used that time to reinforce my own sense of self-love, of what it meant to truly love myself. I mean, I'd done a lot of self-love work for years prior to meeting of this amazing person, but it gave me the opportunity to truly reflect on what that meant for me, and that I would show up in an honorable way for myself right throughout the relationship. And that was a year ago. And today we are I mean, it's literally it's 10 days over our meeting anniversary, because we met on the 4th of February. So it's all around that time, the whole idea of this whole love thing. And that reading was beautiful. I paid such close attention to it. And I revisited that reading many, many times to keep on point, and make sure that I was honoring myself and him, and the reading too. I felt it was really important to do that.
I remember saying to you that that this was a special connection, but you had to have patience.
Yes.
And it was because I said, it's not going to happen immediately. You're not going to be able to do this immediately. You're going to have to wait. And I remember you just being, oh, why? I don't want to wait. And of course we had yet another lockdown, and that put everything into delay. And so virtual meetings were all that was going on at that time. And I said, just bide your time, get to know each other, build up the relationship, and you'll see that it will come good. And
oh yeah.
And I remember your first meeting with him, you being very excited about the first time that you were able to actually meet in person, and saying to me, you were right, it was so worth it.
It was. If ever there is a time that it is necessary to wait and to be patient, and that is for sort of, I don't want to say perfect romantic partnership, because I think there could be many perfect. There's not just the one, there are many ones. But yeah, definitely, it was absolutely worth the wait. It's been a year of crazy, wonderful communication, really getting to know one another. And had I not had the patience to do that, I probably would have said, oh, I'll just go and find somebody else who I can meet up with early. And I'm so glad I didn't do that. So glad. It's the best thing ever. He's just the most incredible, amazing, attentive, loving person that I could ever have hoped for in my whole entire life, on steroids and all the rest.
Yep. And and I did say it's going to be worth it, and I think it definitely was. And so a little bit about Leigh and what she does, because now, of course, not only is it the tarot year of the lovers, but it is Leigh's own personal year of love. Leigh chooses a word to embody the year ahead. Last year was joy. And so you became the Queen of Joy, and used to show up quite regularly on your Facebook page and talking about your connection with Source and the joy that you felt, and how you were ramping up your joyous energy. So what do you mean when you're saying this is your year of love? What are you going to do that's going to honor that love?
Okay, well, every year I tend to choose one word. I know sometimes it's hard to just choose one word, but I think if we can just choose one word and focus on that, like, intuitively decide, well, if I could embody a particular word this year, how would that benefit me, my business, my life, my relationships, everything? And so I've been doing this probably for about 5 or 6 years. And towards the end of last year, I really felt the strong leaning towards choosing the word love for no particular reason. It just felt really good. And I think I'd also gone through a couple of things towards the end of last year that made me question a lot of things, which some of them weren't that pleasant, but it was good because it made me really dig deep and thinking, well, if I could embody one word for 2022, what should that word be, and how will it help me to change my life and all the lives of the people around me? And so love seemed like the most apt one, because the Beatles can't be wrong. All you need is love. Every single sort of philosopher, poet, writer, artist, religious figure, all sorts of people who are in those positions of power have at least in one time or another spoken about love and what that means. And I think for me, it was really coming back to that sense of self-love, first of all, because it starts with yourself. If you don't love yourself like you should be loved, how can you expect anybody else to do that? And so for me, it was really reassessing what it means to love myself, going back to the drawing board, as it were. And I probably spent about 6, maybe 8 weeks of almost becoming a bit of a hermit, really focusing on what does that mean. And it's not about the selfish kind of love of just selfishly going out there and doing your own thing. But it's about really understanding that Source absolutely adores each and every one of us. And if Source adores us, how dare we not adore ourselves? Because we're part of Source. It's almost like denying yourself, if you don't love yourself in that way. Exactly. And then I thought, okay,
like something that that a lot of people struggle with. I know, even like myself, I've struggled over the years to love myself fully and be completely, completely in that place of honoring myself and my true feelings. And I think, especially not just exclusively women, but especially women, when you become a mother or you become a wife, or, you start to be someone else's something, yes, rather than being your own something. And you sort of lose your own identity to a certain extent. And I know I certainly did for a long time. And sort of, I said that I'm now finding my way back to me. And this is something that, that I've helped clients with that have come to me through tarot. We'll sort of read where they are energetically, and we'll see what's going on with them. And very often the blocks that they put in the way will come up. And it's funny that you mentioned being somewhat of a hermit. And I said, whenever I pull the hermit card, I always say it's about that introspection, like going within, taking time to cut out the external noise, taking the time to focus on what you truly want. And it is, I think for a lot of people, and I don't want to exclude men from this, but a lot of people, women especially, you feel selfish if you focus on yourself.
Yeah.
If you put yourself first, if you consider how you're feeling first, and then what's going on with everyone else. But it's so important to do that, because until we love ourselves completely, how can we show up to love others?
Yeah. I totally agree with that. I mean, I think the most selfless thing we can do is to be selfish in the way that we love ourselves. Because if you truly love yourself, other people will love you. And that essence of loving yourself means that you then have the capability of loving other people. You can't love unless you know how to love yourself. It's this, it's almost like this kind of loop thing. People think, well, if I love other people and put them first, then I'll be seen as, somebody who's not selfish, somebody who's really kind and caring. And yes, all of those things are true. But what happens when you really love yourself is you actually have the capability of loving other people even more. And your selfishness becomes an act of selflessness, because you actually have you are loving from the desire of wanting to love, rather than the obligation of feeling you need to love. And there's such a different energy that goes on with that. And I know, because I think I've probably found it easier than a lot of people to tap into that idea of self-love, because it was almost like something switched in my brain, and I could see the relevance and the validity and the importance of doing that. And so when I came up against obstacles, or, had bits of me that sort of, well, I'm not lovable in this way, it was very easy for me to work through that and to let it go. But it was purely because I made that choice. And because I recognized, if Source loves me, who am I to not love myself? You're denying the very, very core of who you really are. And I think it's not something that you can do from an intellectual perspective. It's something that it's this knowing in your heart, in every cell of your body. You just know it's true. And yes, there are little things that you're going to have to work through. But when you've got Source at your side, guiding you and showing you, it's easy as pie to do it. And I think we just have to give ourselves that permission to say, you know what? I'm worthy of being loved because it's my birthright. It is who I am. I am love. And of course, we've come along with so many life's experiences and things that we've learned from our parents or peer groups or whatever the case may be. And so, yes, those learned behavioral patterns can sometimes be much harder to let go of. But I think, again, it is a choice. If you decide that you are worthy of love, it's amazing how the universe brings about situations and opportunities and people for you to express your self-love, first of all, to yourself, and then to others. Because when you're in that place of loving yourself, the right partner, the right friendships, the right opportunities just start flowing to you, because you become a magnet. You become a magnet and attracting. So whatever it is that you want, you have to be that thing in order to attract it. And I truly wanted to have that romantic connection. And it's something that I've always wanted, and I've thought I've had it in the past, but not like this. There's a difference. There's a huge, huge difference.
On that topic as well, because I know Leigh very well. We're very good friends. So I know a lot about where Leigh's journey has taken her. But part of the loving yourself is also knowing what you want and knowing what you don't want. And I know with Leigh, there was a process prior to this relationship of Leigh really figuring out what she wanted. So do you want to talk us through a little bit about like how you started to manifest this wonderful man into your life by really getting clear on what it was that you wanted?
Okay, so a little bit of history. I come from a background of 2 long-term relationships. One, I was married to somebody for 25 years. The other one was a 10-year or 12-year long-term relationship. So I know what long-term relationships are all about. And whilst both guys were fantastic in their own right, I'm not saying that they were mean or horrible or anything. They were fantastic in their own right, but we just weren't right for each other. In the essence of what I could feel there was more. And so on both occasions, I chose to walk away from both of those relationships. And it's not easy to do that, but I knew I needed to do that if I wanted what I really, really wanted. And probably unbeknown to me at the time, I was actually probably sifting and sorting throughout those relationships. I want this, I don't want that. I want this, I want this. And eventually it came to a point where I realized that I could almost create my own man, as it were. putting in the pile of wanted what I wanted. And so I became really, really clear on that. I had a book, and I would write things in. Every time something came into my mind of what I wanted, I would write it down. If I walked down the road and I saw, a couple walking down the road and they were being really loving and lovely to each other, I would say, that's what I want. And I would write it in the book. And even in terms of, physical traits and things that I felt that I personally wanted. But I didn't just stop with it there. It was about connection. It was about conversations. It was about core values. It was about anything I could possibly think of. So in true Rocky Horror Picture Show style, I began to create my own man of what I really, really wanted. And I got so clear on this. I had a number of I wouldn't say, I didn't really have relationships before meeting this lovely guy, but I did go on plenty dates and could say, oh, I like that about this person, but I definitely don't like that. And so it's not about thinking like one person's got to tick all those boxes. It's about, what do you really want in a relationship? The more opportunity you give to having those dates, the clearer you are going to become on it. And that's what I did. But also at the same time, long before I even started having the dates, I made sure that the qualities I was looking for in somebody, that I possessed and owned and expressed those qualities as well. So if you want somebody to be kind, attentive, and caring, you've got to be kind, attentive, and caring yourself, because you will then attract somebody who has those qualities. You can't get anything unless you are it yourself already. You've got to be that vibrational match.
And
to that.
You are it to yourself as well.
Exactly.
It's real, that's a really important distinction, because I think a lot of people would say, well, I'm constantly giving, I'm constantly there for other people, but no one's ever there for me. So how does that work? How come I'm not attracting that? And it's because you are constantly pushing out. So you're not ever in the receiving mode. So it's about being receptive as well as being open and
totally
giving and loving outwardly. You've got to also show that love to yourself.
Yes, that is so important. I think the most important love affair anyone can ever have is the one they have with themselves. And people get all freaked out. They go, well, that sounds a bit weird and that sounds a bit odd. But honestly, I think it was, I don't know, it was three and a bit years since me leaving my last long-term relationship, and was probably two and a bit years before I felt ready to even start thinking about looking for somebody in terms of a relationship. It took me that long to make sure I was ready. I was having the most fantastic love affair with myself. And people might think that's really weird, but it was so fun. It was so joyous. I never felt alone. I never think, oh my God, I need to have somebody here because I'm feeling lonely. Once if you're operating from that place of desperation, of loneliness, of thinking, oh my God, unless I have somebody here, I'm going to die. I never ever once felt like that. And so when I was 100% perfectly ready to receive everything that I wanted, it came so easily. So easily. There was no hard work. It wasn't like I was having to dance around and, jump through hoops. It was none of that. It was the easiest thing, like the next logical step from day one to day two, and now a year later. And it's fantastic. A lot of people love the drama of all sorts of things. And I mean, I can't talk about that. I'm not the drama queen. I love things to be easy and flow and go at that sort of easy, natural flow pace. Yes, I was a little bit impatient, but Nikki grounded me and said, this is worth waiting for. Get ready to be ready to be ready. And I think I did just that on so many levels, but as you say, as you're right, you've got to know what you want. And so often we don't give ourselves permission to really look at what we want. No,
and that's so very true. And I think and like some people that will follow me on here will know, because they've heard me talking about being a single mom that, you know, my marriage broke down, and so I am now in that single place, and I'm now doing exactly what Leigh did, which is I'm getting ready to be ready to be ready. You know, I'm not ready to start dating yet. I don't feel that pull to date anyone, because I'm still discovering me. And I think that's a step that a lot of people will miss out. And it's nice. It's nice to sort of just be happy being in my own company,
Yes.
and in my own space, and doing my own thing. And, you know, I've got my children, which are my life, and I do everything that I possibly can to make them feel happy and safe and secure and all the rest of it. But I've realized that also involves me feeling happy and safe and secure. And so it's been a learning process for me, because I was married for, God, I don't even know how long, about
long time.
15 years, I think, something like that. So it's a long time. So you know, I met my husband when I was at university, so we were together for a good long time. And it's a bit of a shock to the system when you find yourself on your own. So all of you that are out there that are single, that maybe have been in a long-term relationship and found yourself single, and you're trying to rediscover yourself, then do that first, is kind of my advice, and Leigh's advice. You know, get clear on what you want. And if you're single and you've been single for a long time, and you're thinking to yourself, okay, well, why is it not happening? Why am I not meeting anyone? Well, aside from the obvious about what's going on globally right now, which has kind of stunted everybody's ability to meet people, you've also just have the patience, because it does happen, and it does come from the strangest angles. That's what my grandmother always used to say to me. She would say to me, you know, as a little girl, and I'd be very impatient about things, and I'd want to do something, and she'd say, just look for the signs. You know, she said, it will come from the strangest angles when you're least expecting it. And as a kid, I never understood what she meant by that, but I knew she was always right, because things did happen quite serendipitously, in ways that I was not expecting. And I'm not sure whether she was doing some potions in the background to assist me along the way.
I think just often I think it's because we're not really looking for the signs, or we're expecting them to be in a certain way.
Yes.
And we're looking for love in all the wrong places quite often. I think that's the big thing, you know.
And also we're looking for love to validate us. And that's the thing. The validation has to come from you, has to come from within, in order for you to get that love on an equal footing. There, somebody I was watching the other day said something beautiful about this. And this, it was like, when you're looking for love, when you're looking for someone in your life, you don't want someone who's going to make you happy. You want someone who's going to enhance your state of happiness.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You don't want to be someone's world. You want to be part of their world. Mm-hmm. You know, it's these small little distinctions. And I just thought, it's a really interesting thing to look at. And especially on Valentine's Day, you know, all of us singles out here that don't get anything on Valentine's Day.
Oh, I want to talk about that. I want to talk about that.
And, you know, but I mean, I was married for 15 years and didn't get any Valentine's things for 15 years either. So, you know, it's the last time I think I got any surprises on Valentine's Day was when I was 19. So a pretty long time. I'm either really unlovable or...
No, that's not true. That's not true. Or, we've got some people who are just jumping on live now. I don't know. Say hello to Dawn. Hi, Dawn is here.
Hi, Dawn.
I can't actually see because I don't have my glasses on. If anyone's asking any
we've got Malin, we've got Dawn, and we've got JP, if they're still with us. They've all commented. Yes, so I see, Malin, that you have put there. I hope I'm saying your name right, by the way. Do put a pronunciation in if I'm if I'm butchering your name, I apologize. But she'd love to have a quick little reading at some point. So if you're still on when we get to that stage, then I'll ask the question and jump in, and you will be my first, I promise.
I just want to share a little something about Valentine's offers or cards or presents or whatever you want to call them. So I have never in all my many, many years ever received a Valentine's card, a present. Obviously, like your grandson, my grandson would give me, so I'm talking about a romantic Valentine's offer or card.
Yeah.
I got one today.
No.
First time ever, just after midnight. It was like, honestly, it was like all my dreams had come true. I was not expecting it because I've had some pretty weird experiences with Valentine's offers, because I would be the one that would be offering all the time to my previous partners. And none of the offers were received in a way that made me feel good. So I had this kind of negative vibe issue going around Valentine's Day. But me being like I am, and you know what I'm like, I don't look at the negative. I always think, well, it isn't just a commercial day. Does it really matter? No, it doesn't. But it mattered so much to get that text message just after midnight, because it came from the place of pure fucking love. Oh, sorry. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that.
Pure bleep.
Pure bleep love, absolutely. And yes, it was just, it was, it just made me feel, okay, the universe is listening, even to a little thing like that, to kind of maybe even heal that little bit of hurt that I felt that many years ago. This coming in the way that it did, whatever negativity I ever felt around it, it's gone out of the window. So it's so wonderful to see how we don't need that validation from others, but when it comes, because it's adding to your own personal self-validation, it's like love on steroids. It's just a beautiful, amazing thing. So for anybody who is, for all the singles out there, if you're wondering, can you ever have true love? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Even in terms of dating apps and all that kind of thing, I don't want to do that. I'm very much a people person, and I meet people in person, but because of COVID, that couldn't happen. And I thought, okay, let me try this dating app malarkey. And that's where I met my guy, was on a dating app. Had it not been for COVID, had it not been for stuff that he was going through, I would never have been. Had it not been for COVID, I wouldn't have been on a dating app. Had it not been for stuff that he was going through, he would have not been on that dating app, and we would never have met. So the serendipitous moments of the way the universe is continuously conspiring, and I love that word, conspirate, which is in Latin, how the universe continues continuously to conspire on our behalf, bringing all these cooperative components together so that we can truly experience a life of joy and love and bliss. But guess what? You have to be the most cooperative component, or else it ain't gonna happen.
That's so true. That's so true. Well, let's see. Does anyone have any questions for Leigh? We can open it up to them.
Yes, any questions about love, any questions about dating, anything like that? I've become an absolute expert. I must say, I probably dated, I don't know, in excess of maybe 30 different people over a 2.5 year period. I dated at least 30 people. I was like on speed dating at some points. I wasn't messing around. I knew exactly what I wanted, and it was fun, it was fast, it was furious. And dating apps are not something to be afraid of. I know a lot of people are so afraid of going on dating apps because all the weird shit that goes on there. But I think I'm pretty much an expert. I can spot the spammers and the scammers from miles and miles away. I'm really good at it.
Yeah, and that is a thing, and I think especially for women, that's quite a concern, because we are a lot more vulnerable meeting somebody for the first time, but there's things that you can do to protect yourself, like always meet in a public place with plenty of people around, let people know where you're going. Have your friend there on speed dial should the date go sideways and you want an out. There's things like that you can look at protecting yourself. But I think if we spend time, because dating apps are things where you're talking online first, aren't you?
Oh yes, absolutely.
And I think if you're able to discern certain things, you can see those certain red flags from
absolutely
communication.
I mean, to me, I've probably got like 4 or 5 sort of immediate, you meet somebody online, it seems like there's a nice little vibe, get to having a video call, or at least at the very, very first start, an actual call, but to get a video call as soon as possible so that you're actually speaking to the person that you're seeing there, number one. Because people will send you all sorts of weird photographs and they'll say, well, this is me, and they're sending photographs from 10 years ago. They've now, I don't know, they're 10 years older, they've put on 200 pounds. All sorts of weird shit goes on. So make sure that you are speaking to the person who you think you're speaking to. And it's so easy these days. There's no excuse. It's not like 20 years ago where people didn't have webcams and stuff like that. Nearly everybody's got a smartphone. You can you can very, very easily validate that it is the person that you're speaking to. And there are lots of other practical things. But I think the most important thing is really getting to know and trust yourself and trust your intuition. Way before even that, because a lot of people can still put on a persona, because you know what it's like, the new broom always sweeps clean. People turn up in a certain way and put on a persona, and you need to trust your gut instinct even within that. And on paper, people can appear to be absolutely perfect, but trust your gut instinct. I promise you, it will never let you down.
And that's what I always say in my tarot readings. Trust your instincts, they will never let you down. So a little bit about who you are and what you do for our listeners, so that if they want to get in touch with you and work with you on a deeper level. And then I think I'll take some tarot readings, unless you've got anything else you want to share. No,
well, I mean, as you can see on the screen, Leigh, the Queen of Joy, that name was given to me by my clients because I always show up in this crazy bouncing off the wall bubbly way. And it's not fake, it's 100% real. I am this crazy joyous person like 90% of the time. And I work with amazing women all over the world. The majority of the women I've worked with in the past have been artists, creatives, helping them to truly dig deep into who they really are, for them to truly understand their own self-worth, to be able to love themselves, to find that deep inner thing, to uncover their zones of genius, their passions, the things they absolutely fucking love doing. And then for a lot of those people, being able to use those wonderful qualities in promoting their business, in setting up really powerful businesses online, and also to be able to have that wonderful, amazing, incredible love affair with themselves. That's where everything I do starts from that point of people truly connecting with who they really are and being confident and boldly going and sharing how amazing they are. Because I think everybody has the potential to be even more than excellent. I think excellence is a great thing to strive for, but certainly to be extraordinary. I think everyone has the capability of being truly extraordinary. And that's what I love helping people to do, to discover their extraordinariness, if there is such a word. I don't know, I get a bit tongue-tied. And I mean, Nikki, you know, I mean, I've got a Facebook group called the Queen's Coterie, which is specifically for women. And I think it's designed to help women truly know what it's like to rule and reign as the queen of their own lives, because that is our only responsibility that we have. I know we've got kids and all that other stuff, but first and foremost, coming to the place where you are ruling and reigning over your queendom as the queen. that's where the magic happens. That's where all delicious, good, beautiful, wonderful things happen. So if anybody wants to connect with me, you can contact Nikki and she will put you in touch with me. I don't know how people do this connection thing on YouTube. I don't know. How does it work?
You can put a link in the description box when we're done. You can put a comment in there and I can just pin it to the top. So
okay, perfect.
So that people
I'll do that.
can,
I've never done that in YouTube before,
yeah.
so it's all new for me.
Yeah, YouTube is well, it's a lot like the other platforms, I suppose, in that you have that comment section. All of these comments will be available, I think, afterwards.
I don't know if they stay live. I don't know if the live ones stay live. I don't know.
They do come up. I've watched live videos, not having done one until today myself. But I've watched other people do live videos, and the comments, you can see the comments coming up, or you can turn the comments off. But there's also the comment box underneath that you can do when it's a static video, not a live one. So we'll put it in there.
Fantastic.
And that's that. So I am going to, as promised, look at the look at Malin. So do you have what come forward for you in love? Okay, so let's have a look. Let's take out my trusty light seers, because it's the one that I love the most, and the one that I feel the most connected with. So let's see what is going to come forward for the lovely Malin in love. Anyone else who would like to have a quick reading? This isn't going to be a full, like, half an hour reading per person, but just a quick see what's going on. Then just realized I've done that probably right in front of the microphone. So that was probably a very loud shuffle.
It sounded lovely, actually.
Wait, do you know, it's what's it called, that ASMR? For some people, card shuffling is a very ASMR thing. So
oh yes, all those things about sounds that are really, people can be hypersensitive to certain sounds.
What's coming for Malin in love? Ooh. Okay, so what I'm getting for you, my lovely Malin, is that you feel like you're at a bit of a crossroads right now. So are you trying to choose the path to go down? You know, is this about whether or not you want to pursue a particular person, or whether or not you want to pursue a relationship at all? Because there is some hesitation there, I feel, with the Two of Swords coming up, that feeling like, which avenue do I go down to find that love? And here's the beautiful thing. The next card you have is the Fool. And the Fool is there to say, trust. Trust the universe, trust yourself, trust that if you take that leap, if you open yourself up, that love will catch you. The universe will catch you. It will be there for you. And I'm seeing that you may have come from some form of feeling like you've had to compete for love, feeling like you've had to compete for attention, feeling like you've not always been noticed, because we have that Five of Wands in reverse there. And so this is, you know, this is the thing that's maybe unsettling you underneath it all, that's making you feel at that crossroads. Sorry, she has said something here. What time period do I look in? I look in what is going on around you right now. And yes, he's on and off. Yeah. So I look at what's going on around you right now and what's coming in the immediate future with this. This is what I'm looking at with and if it's something that's more long term, I will say that it's something that you can expect, like I did with Leigh. You know, I said to her, you may have to wait a while. But I'm seeing that this Fool energy followed by the 5 of Wands in the reverse is showing me that maybe you have been a little bit too trusting in the past, and it may be time for you to have that faith in you rather than faith in the other person, because that's coming through, especially since you're feeling at that crossroads. And let me see, what is he feeling? That's what you want to see, is it? Okay. Yeah, see, she's come up now, trusting your intuition. We have the Queen of Cups. This is about your feelings. This is about you trusting what you feel, how your emotions are sitting with you, and really owning that. The Queen owns it. She owns her intuition. She owns her heart. She owns her feelings. So that's really important for you at the moment. Let me see. I'm going to ask about him, because I was asking about him as she fell out. So, ooh. Okay. There's some regret. There's some regret from him. The 5 of Cups is spilt regret. There is regret here. There is a loss. There is something that he may actually feel the loss of you very much if you were to walk away, but only you can choose which one you need to do. And staying with somebody because they miss you is not the way to do it. You need to stay with them because that's what your heart is telling you to do. That's what your instincts are telling you to do. That's what your intuition is telling you to do. So let me just very quickly see, is there something in the future for this? Oh, my love. We've got our old friend, the devil. Okay, now when he shows up, this shows me that this is not necessarily a very healthy relationship, and only you can determine that. But it does show me that this is like a codependency of some description. It's an addiction to a way of being, a lifestyle. Whether there's actual addiction involved, that's something for you to know, and you only to know. But this, when the devil shows up here, this is showing me that there is that unhealthy control, that you are feeling like the puppet on the string here. And interestingly enough, in the Rider-Waite deck, the Lovers card has the same 2 people in it that then later appears in the Devil card. It's the same 2 people, but instead of freely giving their love, they are now bound by a codependency, by an unhealthiness that is not so cohesive and cooperative. So if that's the case, and you are wanting to move forwards with this particular relationship, then you need to take that control back, and you need to sever those ties so that you are not being controlled by someone else. But in all honesty, from the cards that I've pulled here, I would say that this is probably not the healthiest of relationships, and it's definitely worth you investigating whether you want to continue on with this or whether you want to seek something new. So again, going back to what Leigh and I were saying earlier about loving yourself, trusting yourself, and knowing what you want is the key to getting what you want. And don't let someone else dictate to you whether you can be happy or not. Take your own happiness, take your own love, and be there for yourself. Show up for yourself. You're at a crossroads right now. Which direction are you going to choose? Are you going to choose yourself, or are you going to choose to do what someone else wants? Are you going to choose to be happy and be in love with yourself and be there for you? Or are you going to allow someone else to manipulate you. And that's what I would say about that relationship. So I hope that was helpful, and do get in contact with me if you want to delve any deeper, because we can always look deeper into this for you. Okay, let's have a look. Have we got anything else here? We have Arby. I have not seen such such beautiful blondes ever in my life. Oh, thank you, Arby. That's very
I agree.
you. So
I agree.
So yes, does anybody else, and I hope I pronounced your name right as well. It's always difficult, and sometimes people don't use their actual name on here, so that's really funny when it's like a bunch of numbers or something.
Yeah.
Use
Number 8. Yeah, I just wanted to say to Malin, this is a really good opportunity for you to take a big deep breath, take a step back.
Yeah.
And even go into that bit of hermit mode, do some self-reflection, really think about what it is that you want, journal about that, write about it, meditate just for the sake of meditating and feeling that connection with source without any end result in mind. Really spend time with yourself. Really getting to know who you are and loving yourself like source loves you. When you do that, when you really become grounded in understanding how much you are loved and adored by source, when you become truly grounded in how worthy you are of having all of your dreams come true, including the love of your life and whatever else it is that you want, you will realize that you don't have to settle for anything but the very, very best. And I know from personal experience, sometimes we think if we're in something, oh, it's better having something than not having something. And guess what? It's not. It's better to just be on your own, loving yourself, and then giving the universe the opportunity to bring something way better, way more special.
And what I should say as well is that when the Fool card shows up in a love reading, it's very often an indicator of someone who is not mature enough for a proper relationship, an adult relationship where it's equals and it's give and take, and it's on a solid footing. So do be aware of that as well, my lovely Malin. And like I say, if you would like to delve any deeper, then do get in contact with me, and we'll have a deeper look for you, my lovely. Okay, so does anybody else want to have a reading, or we will?
I do, but I'm not going to do it here.
No, well, we will go on. So I think Malin may have gone now, But well, in that case, I think we will probably call a close to this and say thank you very much to the lovely Leigh Shenton for joining me. If you are interested in working with the Queen of Joy, she will put her link in the description box later on, and you can contact her and see about working with her. And if you want a private reading with me, or if you want to work on a deeper level with me in anything, then you can always contact me via my usual methods of website or Facebook. If you want to message me on Facebook, all the links are there. But until next time, I'm going to wish you all a very happy Valentine's Day and sending you all big love. Love yourselves. You are worth it. I love you. And I hope that you have a wonderful rest of the week. Okay.
Thanks, Nikki. Bye, everyone.
Take care. Namaste.